How do we get connected to the soul, the mind and the body of our culture? Because in those days Sri Aurobindo used to say that if your mother is in distress, can you just be sitting there? I'm asking all of you. In your house, your mother is not feeling well. Will you just be sitting in the house doing nothing? You'll do something for her. So for Sri Aurobindo, who was his mother? The country was verily his mother, and he felt the distress that the country is going through, the pain. Do you feel the pain? That something is happening in the country even today? We've got independence, but are we really independent? So after coming out from jail, Sri Aurobindo went to the Alipur jail. He wrote many, this pain was there in his heart. And because of that, he wrote these articles on education. How do we get connected? How does the youth of my country get connected to the soul, the mind and the body of this beautiful, unique culture? And that's what I would request Sri Shivakumar to tell us about this writings on education, which is now popular as integral education. We have a school year. Do you know there is a school year in Pondicherry called the Sri Aurobindo International Center of Education, which actually is running an experiment on this integral education. What is this? Let us hear from him.
My namaskarams to every one of you. After a broad sweep at what our culture is and how we should approach it, we are entering into a field that is so very relevant to all of us, the field of education. In fact, when all of us entered into college, we have to select specific subjects in which we have to specialize in, isn't it? Well, when you finish your school and want to select a college, you will have to select whether it is to be an engineering college, medical college, arts, sports. All this specialization has to be done at the college level. But it is very interesting that when we started our education at the school level, we didn't have to be specific or specialize in any of the subject, isn't it? How is the experience of everyone? When we entered into the kindergarten, nobody has asked us, would you like to choose a KG stream which is called engineering or medical? I know there are some parents who decide, even when a child is 5-6 years old, that he has to become an engineer and then start coaching classes, only to later find that the child coming up and saying that no, my interest is totally in something else, something like sports, and the entire expectation comes crashing down. Now it is interesting because in school, when we are looking at the preliminary education, we don't have to specialize. If we don't have to specialize, what are we supposed to do? An education that prepares one to enter into college where one has to choose even a career which will become part of their life, I would say at least 3 foundations need to be laid at the school level. And I'm going to run through these 3 foundations, and all of you will have to tell me how closer it is to your own experience too. You see, whatever you want to select as a specialization in the college, irrespective of that, the first foundation that needs to be laid in the school is the foundation of fitness of the body. What does it mean? Whatever we are meant to be, we need to have a body which is very healthy and very fit. You can't say that because I'm an engineer, I don't need a physical body, isn't it? Would you agree with that? Whatever you want to be in life, well, a foundation is that you need to have a healthy body. And when I say healthy body, the health should not be equated to what you might have seen in some of the No, the wrestling matches that come on the TV, WWE, heard of it? Anybody? With the muscles ripped? No, not that level. But to be healthy and to be in charge of one's health, even if a COVID comes, it should pass through our door and should not enter into us. That healthiness is the foundation in the body that we need to have. The school is meant to provide us for that. Would you agree with that? All of us need that fitness in the body, whatever we want to be in the college, the first foundation. The second foundation, I'm sure a lot of you will agree with that too, is the foundation of being in charge of one's emotions and learning how to express. You know, when I was in college, there was a trend, it was a trend, the times are changing, where a boy and a girl come together, they enter into a relationship. After some time, there is a usual complaint from the boy to the girl. What is that? Why are you trying to make everything so emotional? Interesting, isn't it? And the girl looks at the boy and she knows he is a little physical. No, why are you not trying to express yourself emotionally? You understand that we have not trained ourselves to feel the emotions originally, authentically, and to even express it very beautifully. How all of our emotions can be expressed very beautifully in the form of art, music, poetry, dance. There are innumerable, when you hear an old song, it may be one of the saddest emotions that gets expressed, but you feel like singing it because it was expressed so beautifully through that song. Why is that? Well, somebody who is emotionally capable has put it into practice. So emotions should not drive us, but we should be in charge of our emotions, and that foundation has to be laid in the school. You would have avoided a lot of problems that you might be encountering at the college level, guaranteed. So physical foundation is the first one, emotional foundation is the second one. A third foundation, irrespective of who you want to be in life, is the capacity to look at things and the ability to solve problems. And that is a foundation in the mind. Even before any problem comes to you, you're already ready with 10 solutions for it. This is the problem, I have 10 solutions for it. How do we do that? You develop the capacity in the mind to be sharp, to be dynamic, to be creative in utilizing the mind. Unfortunately, we don't have many subjects in the school that deal directly with it. How to love another person truly, authentically, there is no subject. How to think, there is hardly any subject. How to hold certain values in life, still, times are changing. We don't have subjects like how to be courageous, how to overcome fear, how to be truthful. These are all for the future, but maybe. But a foundation of the capacity to think has to be there at the school, so that when we enter into college, we are ready to choose what we want to be. So foundation in the body, a foundation in the emotions, a foundation of the mind. These seem to wrap up what we need in life, isn't it? But I would like to introduce to you a fourth foundation, which becomes one of the most important foundation, which if it happens at the school level, the rest of the life becomes very, very easy. I'm going to give you an example. Imagine a twin born to same parent, brought up in the same family situation. Let's say the twins are put in the same school for same type of education, but they are not going to be carbon copies of each other. If you have actually seen a twins in action, one may be very, very physical, sportsman-like. The other may be very emotional, artist-like. And how does it happen? They are born to the same parent. They have gone through the same education, and it is as if something which is other than the outer situation decides what type of a person is he or she is going to be. I'm sure you also would have noticed that it is as if something inside, there is a part inside which has not yet been discovered properly, which seems to know what we are meant to be in life and then it will give certain pushes right from early in life. You'll find that there are some children, the moment they listen to music, they're already going after that because something in them pushes them towards music. Maybe he's meant to be a Rahman. Maybe he's meant to become an Ilayaraja. We don't know. But you'll find these impulses coming from a part which seems to know what we are meant to be. Anything else that we may take up in the form of entertainment or a career, if that is not aligned with the push coming from inside, no, we will never feel completely satisfied. And that part is not yet become completely part of our educational system. And I would like to bring that part into our discussion today. What is that part which is there within all of us, which seems to know what we are meant to be in this life? And not only that, it can give the right type of interests and capacities. Only thing we need is a little support from the outside, from the schools, from the colleges, from the professors that we encounter. What is that part? I would like to read to you something which Sri Aurobindo wrote in 1910 when Priti was speaking about. He wanted an education which actually is truly authentically Indian, which empowers every student in India. So what does he say about the type of education that we need? Here is something very beautiful. Listen to me very carefully. He says, everyone has in him something divine. He doesn't have any other vocabulary to say, because this part in us is so beautiful. It carries the best of part of us, the best things that belong to us. Something his own, a chance of strength and perfection in however small a sphere which God offers him to take or refuse. This is option. The push that comes from within, we can listen to it and align our life with it, or we can refuse that. That freedom is always given. But what are we meant to do? Sri Aurobindo says, the task is to find it, develop it, and use it. Now, this is what the education is meant to be. It is meant to put us in touch with that part which already can sense what we are meant to be, and also give us the pushes in the right direction. And then life becomes easy. And not only that, this part is capable of guiding us in everything related to the life that we want to build up. And this is what when Pradibhai said, applied spirituality, whether we want it or not, agree with or not, there is a part in us which is already spiritual. And we are already holding that within us. If we can make it part of our everyday life, it can give the push and make our life extraordinarily purposeful and beautiful. You look at some of the people, great people who have achieved success, who have listened to this push. For example, Steve Jobs. You heard of Steve Jobs? Now, when he entered into the computer field, it was highly technical subject, too much scientific. He went and joined a calligraphy course where aesthetics are emphasized on. Why? If you want to be a scientist in the computer field, what is the need for being a person with aesthesis? Well, he brought it. He listened to the push within, and the result that we have are the most beautiful fonts that you are having in your computer, even in your mobile phones, is actually a result of something which Steve Jobs thought. He learned calligraphy, he revolutionized the fonts and made it all the more beautiful. Or a Ramanujan, for example. You heard of Ramanujan? He is born in Tamil Nadu, near Namakkal. In fact, recently Priti and I went and visited him. What did he say? He said right from his childhood, he felt that something from within him is giving him mathematical formulas of the highest order. And what did he say? He identified, he gave a name to this source. He said, Namagiri Tayar. Means mother, goddess Namagiri is putting the formulas on my tongue. I just have to spit it out. And they are formulas of the highest order. Where are they coming from? From within himself. Now this part in us is meant to complete our life, without which our life will remain incomplete. I want to read another quotation by the mother, which gives us in the context. See, the people whom I have said they are genius in their field, an A.R. Rahman, or even a Shreya Ghoshal, or Ilayaraja, or Ramanujam, they are genius people. The question is there a genius sitting within all of us? If so, then it is worth getting in touch with that genius and making it express our life. Now, this is what Mother says. Listen to me very carefully. This is what she says. There is a genius within every one of us. We don't know it. We know something is there inside. We get impulses, pushes once in a while, which are very true, which we cannot ignore. But Mother identifies this phenomena and she says there is a genius within every one of us. I wish somebody would have told me when I was a child. I would have gone after it. We don't know it. We must find the way to make it come out. But it is there sleeping because we have never tried to make it part of our everyday life. When I have a relationship problem, can I refer to that? When I have a decision to make about my career, can I refer to that? If I have a fight with my parents or anybody else, can I refer to that for the right solution? Now, this is what. Because we have not learned to refer to that, well, it is as if sleeping. And the Mother says, it asks. So there is a little expectation of that part. What does it ask? It asks for nothing better than to manifest. We must open the door to it. And later, the Mother has actually established a door which can give us an entry point into that part which can shape our life. And there is not one door towards getting in touch with it, but the door that she has decided to actually put it into practice and implement it to a great extent is what she has named it as integral education. So in Sanskrit, you can call it as Purna Siksha. Purna Kalvi is what you can. If we can include this as part of our education, then our education become complete. Choose whatever subject you want to specialize in, but it can never be complete unless and until we bring in the element of genius, so that that genius can express in everything that we take up, not just in career, but at every moment of our life. And this is the integral education, which if you happen to come to the ashram and go to the center of education, well, this is what we have been trying to implement for more than 75 years, and it is already very well developed in its approach and form. And through this chair, and I'm very thankful for Dr. Richa to have had this chair through which we would definitely love to share how does one open the doors to the genius which is sitting inside every one of us. And mind you, none of us can say that it is a little less in me. You can't say that, no, he has got more of genius, I have a little less. No, every one of us has a specific, unique genius sitting within us. The process of education is to help us open the door, and what happens is magic. With that, I will conclude my interaction just by emphasizing that whenever we say, spirituality, the ashram is identified as spiritual place, Sri Aurobindo is identified as spiritual person, we have a concept of spirituality which is very different from the everyday life. But this is what the Mother has said, by integrating the two dimensions of everyday common life and the dimension of spirituality. And she has this to say when somebody asks, what is spiritual? And she says, true spirituality is not to renounce life. It's not giving up. बोलते हैं ना भगवान को पाने के लिए सब कुछ छोड़ना है. On the contrary, it is embracing everything in the right way and giving expression to that. True spirituality is not to renounce life. Can anybody complete my sentences? Not those who are sitting in the true. What is spirituality supposed to do? From whatever I have shared, anybody could make an attempt. It's not meant to renounce life, but come. We'll ask the Mother herself to complete. But to make life perfect with a divine perfection. Spirituality is what completes life. Without that dimension becoming part of our life remains incomplete. And this part adds the dimension, the element of genius into every one of our life. Thank you so much.